Evening folks, I meant to make this video this morning but got distracted and didn't really have a chance to do it. I want to talk about the Zelfa Barrett Jordan Gill fight from last night. Brilliant fight, absolutely brilliant fight. Both men showed such heart, skill, bravery. You know, it was just a shame one of them had to lose. It was one of those kind of fights. Obviously Zelfa Barrett got the TKO victory in the 10th, but it was real back and forth stuff. Really good fight. Really enjoyed the action. Gill was absolutely fantastic, and Barrett was just better. You know, Barrett was targeting that left eye, whipping right hands, and throughout the fight, Gill's left eye started swelling up and going very red. A lot of damage there, but he was fighting. He was fighting all the time. Gill, you know, he was definitely trying to prove that the Conlon victory was no fluke. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, really brave, gutsy performance from both men. It was around about the third or fourth, Barrett started targeting Gill's body with hooks, and throughout, and that became kind of a theme. You know, he was whacking away to the rib cage, and then he was firing that right hand, you know, puffing that left eye of Gill's up even more. And as the fight wore on, that eye was getting worse. I did wonder if, you know, perhaps it would be a late stoppage on, you know, his eye being too closed up or whatever. But, you know, it went on, and in the 10th, I think it was early in the 10th, Barrett sunk in a real sickening left hand to the body, which dropped Gill, right, it folded him up like a deck chair. He just went straight down, and I thought, he ain't getting up. Because I've been hitting the body. Any of you have ever been hitting the body with a clean body shot? It's a sickener. It takes your soul. It really takes your soul out of your body. And he got back up, and he was fighting back immediately. He was fighting back, and I was just amazed. Jordan Gill absolutely astounded me. Not too many guys could fight back after taking that. I mean, he was sick when he took that, and he really fought back with all his heart, you know. And in the towards the end of the round, the 10th, he took some more punishment to the body, and he went down again, you know, and I thought, right, that's it, he ain't getting up. But he got up. I mean, the heart on this guy, the bravery, absolutely fucking amazing. And obviously Barrett went in for the kill, landed a few vicious blows, and the referee stopped it. Gill finished on his feet, absolutely fair play to him, you know. I thought the stoppage was right because he was getting bashed up by that point, and yeah, it could have gone quite bad for him. No, absolutely fantastic fight. Really. Like I say, it was a shame one of them had to lose. You know, so Gill can come again. I mean, you know, coming back from, you know, his suicidal thoughts last year, and, you know, he was really depressed and whatnot, and came back with that victory over Michael Conlon. Hell of a performance he put up against Zelfa Barrett. Absolutely brilliant. Eddie Hearn was talking about getting Barrett into the world title picture. Hey, why not? You know, I mean, he's only had that loss to Rakimov last year, or was it the year before? Whenever it was, the year before it must have been actually, and or it might have been last year. Anyway, whenever it was, all the years blend into one for me these days. And he was doing well in that fight, and he just got taken out. You know, it's just one of those things. So it'd be interesting. He can hold his own at world level, absolutely. So, and then there was the American card, Top Rank, the heavyweight show. The main event, Jared Anderson scored a unanimous decision over Ryad Merhy, the former WBA cruiserweight champion. There's not a lot to say about it. It was boring. Merhy was in survival mode aside from throwing the odd single shot here and there. He did land some pretty vicious hooks to the body occasionally, but he didn't follow up on it. It was all single shots. Anderson didn't really push the matter. He didn't try and go for the knockout. He seemed quite content to work behind the jab, backing Merhy into corners and just unloading combinations here and there. Pretty pedestrian. It was a win for Anderson. But Merhy, you know, I was very disappointed with him because he's coming off that big win over Tony Yoka. Well, I say big win. it was a big win for a former cruiserweight moving up to heavyweight. And I thought, oh, he might actually give it a go. But aside from the odd single pot shot here and there, I was pretty disappointed with the guy. He was just in survival mode. But, you know, it happens in boxing. I mean, not every fight can be Hagler Hearns, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was slightly disappointed with that, with Merhy's performance. And the chief support, what a fucking brilliant fight that was. F.A. Ajagba, the big Nigerian, took a split decision over Guido Vianello. A lot of people I've seen have got very upset this morning. It seems to be a weekly thing, you know, people screaming robbery and whatnot. It was a close fight. I wouldn't have argued either way. I personally had, just looking at my scorecard, I had it to Ajagba 96-94, but there were some rounds where I wasn't sure. Yeah, I was just going with my gut. I haven't watched the fight back. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But I'm not fussed. If it had been a draw, or if it had gone to Vianello, I wouldn't have minded so much. It was just, you know, it was just one of those fights. I mean, it started off before the fight started. When I saw it was happening, I thought I wasn't that really expecting too much from it, to be honest, because of the fact that they're sparring partners, or have been sparring partners. And not all the time, but quite often, if you get two sparring partners in there together in a professional setting, they kind of, at least one of them will resort back to sparring partner mentality. So I wasn't really expecting much, to be honest. But Vianello, he jumped out of his corner in the first round and landed a massive right hand, and you could see Ajagba was just, whoa, hello, I'm in a fight today. And yeah, he was really putting it on Ajagba. Ajagba didn't really, he was sort of shocked, like I say, he didn't seem to know what to do. Towards the end of the second, Vianello landed a massive right hand, and it really shook Ajagba. It really scrambled his brains. He was all over the place. He sank back onto the ropes. And Vianello attempted to go in for the kill, but unfortunately, he kind of tripped over himself. He got in his own way, if that makes sense. He was desperate to get in there, but he ended up kind of just tackling him against the ropes. You know, he was desperate. It was a very sloppy sort of attack, but got a bit excited there. When the bell ended to end the second round, Ajagba was gone. Yeah, he didn't know where his corner was. It reminded me, if you ever watch Roberto Duran when he got stopped by Tommy Morrison in 1984, at the end of the first round when he'd been dropped and hurt, and he was wandering around, he went totally to the wrong corner. It was the same thing there, and I thought, oh, this is getting interesting. I don't think Ajagba's going to recover in time. But he did, he recovered, he took some punishment. From the 4th to the 9th, I thought Ajagba, although it wasn't perfect, he wasn't dominating it at all. I felt he sort of switched his game up a bit, and he landed some brilliant uppercuts with both the left and the right hands on the inside, and he was able to start working his jab. He switched southpaw a couple of times. I'm not overly keen on guys switching stance sometimes, but it seemed to be quite effective in this one. So, you know, can't complain too much. But Vianello was always there. He was always firing back, you know, and he was a good tactic he was employing actually. Is he was sort of the last sort of 10-15 seconds of every round, he'd start firing back. He'd try and get the last word, which is a clever technique because obviously a lot of judges will remember the last thing they saw. So although he might have been losing around maybe, or getting outlanded by Ajagba. Yeah, that's a good way of trying to steal those rounds. Some of the rounds I gave to Ajagba, there were a few. There was a handful where I was kind of, it could have gone either way, but I felt that Ajagba's punches were more effective. But if they'd have gone, yeah, I could have quite easily scored them to Vianello. You know, it's just one of those fights. It was an absolutely brilliant fight. Again, it was a shame somebody had to lose. I did feel a bit bad for Vianello. He genuinely looked a bit disappointed. But there you go. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Yeah, it absolutely brilliant. Like I say, I had it 96-94, but if it had gone to Vianello by that same score, or if it had been a draw, I wouldn't have had any issue with it. It was very good. I really enjoyed it. And that's it for me, really. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the fights. Next week we've got Haney against Garcia. That's one I'm really looking forward to. I said in a previous video a few weeks back that I didn't actually think the fight would go ahead. purely because of Ryan Garcia's kind of erratic behaviour. I mean, he's still, because you can't really escape it on social media or whatever. There's stuff popping up on YouTube about him, Instagram, things like that. It's just if he's acting, he's a very good actor because he does just seem genuinely disturbed. There's something not right, to the eye. It's something not right with the guy. I'm hoping he's all right, and it's a ploy to try and lull Haney into a false sense of security. But I don't know, man. I think there's something not right with Garcia. I mean, he's had problems with mental health in the past, so we'll have to see about that. But no, I am looking forward to that fight, and I'm expecting Haney to retain his WBC title, probably by unanimous decision. I don't expect a knockout, but who knows? You never know. But no, I am looking forward to that one, so I will be doing a review of that. But I'm very busy next week, so it'll probably be late Sunday that I do a review. And I've seen this morning I've got 100 subscribers, and again, I never ever thought I'd get one. And it amazes me that 100 people out there want to listen to me and give a fuck about my opinion. I say, thank you very much. It really means a lot to anybody who wants to listen to me drone on and on and on about this wonderful sport that we love. Right, that's enough out of me. I'll speak to you next week. Take care, folks, and I hope you're well.